You hear the term artificial intelligence, and you probably think of sci-fi movies or super smart robots, right? But what if I told you its biggest job right now isn't in the future, but on the front lines of one of the greatest challenges we've ever faced, protecting our planet? Let's dive in. So, here's the big question, isn't it? Can AI really make a difference for the environment, or is this all just a bunch of tech hype? Well, today we're going to cut through all that noise and look at some real-world examples that might just hold the answer. Here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll break down how AI even works in this context. Then, we'll see it in action protecting wildlife, making our cities smarter, and even dealing with our trash. And we're going to finish with a really cool twist, looking at the environmental footprint of the software itself. Okay, so before we jump into all the amazing case studies, we need to get on the same page. When we say AI is helping the planet, what does that actually mean? Well, it really boils down to three core functions. First up, AI can monitor. It can sift through just insane amounts of data, satellite images, sensor readings, you name it, at a scale no human team could ever dream of. Second, it can predict. By digging through all that data, it starts to see patterns, forecasting everything from energy demand to where deforestation might happen next. And third, and this is the key, it can optimize. Based on those predictions, it recommends the absolute best course of action to improve efficiency and cut down on waste. So just remember that. Monitor, predict, optimize. That's the toolkit. So let's take that toolkit and see it in action. First stop, the wild. We're talking about using this cutting-edge tech to help protect some of the most fragile and, frankly, most important ecosystems on the entire planet. And the problem here is just huge. Illegal deforestation isn't just about losing trees and animal habitats. It's a massive, massive driver of climate change. And trying to physically patrol these vast remote rainforests, for humans alone, it's a nearly impossible task. But check this out. A nonprofit called Rainforest Connection came up with this absolutely brilliant idea. They take old, discarded cell phones, hook them up to some solar panels, and then hide them way up high in the rainforest canopy. These old phones get a second life as these autonomous, high-tech listening posts, like guardians for the forest. And this is where the AI magic happens. It's trained to listen, to distinguish the normal sounds of the rainforest from threats. It can pick up the specific sound of a chainsaw, a gunshot, or even human voices where they shouldn't be. And the moment it detects a threat, boom, it sends a real-time alert to rangers on the ground so they can intervene before it's too late. It's a simple idea with a totally powerful impact. Okay, so from the rainforest canopy, let's zoom all the way back into our own world, our cities and our buildings. This is where a huge chunk of our energy gets used, and it's another place where AI is making things a whole lot smarter. To really get the scale of the challenge, think about this. In a super dense city like Hong Kong, nearly 60% of all CO2 emissions come from its buildings. 60%, mostly from heating and air conditioning. So you can see right away, making our buildings more efficient is a massive lever for change. And here's one solution, an app called Neuron. It basically uses AI to become the smart brain for a building's entire heating and cooling system. It's constantly analyzing real-time data, learning the building's patterns, and making thousands of tiny adjustments to optimize everything. The result is use/energy use and lower emissions, all without anyone inside even noticing a thing. But it gets way bigger than just one building. AI is transforming our entire energy grids. Traditional grids are pretty passive. They just push power out. But smart grids, powered by AI, are active. They can predict demand, smoothly blend in renewable energy from solar and wind, and make constant decisions across the whole system to prevent waste. All right, next up, let's talk trash. I know, it's not glamorous, but managing our waste is a critical environmental issue. And you guessed it, AI is finding some incredibly clever ways to help us clean up our act. So for this one, we thought it would be fun to go straight to the source. We literally asked ChatGPT what AI can do for waste management. And here's the rundown. It can optimize garbage collection routes to save fuel. It can use cameras to automatically sort different types of waste. It can detect hazardous materials. And it can even analyze data to find patterns in how we generate waste in the first place. And the tech gets even more futuristic. Technologists are now creating digital twins, which is basically a complete virtual replica of a city's entire waste management system. This lets them run simulations and test out new radical solutions in the virtual world to perfect them before spending millions to implement them in the real one. It's pretty incredible stuff.
So far, we've seen all the amazing things AI can do for the environment. But for our final section, we're going to flip the script. What about the environmental impact of the software itself? Every line of code running on a server consumes energy. So how do we make that process greener?
This is where things get really fascinating. The Green Software Foundation created a standard called the Software Carbon Intensity Specification, or SCI. Now, don't worry about the complex math here. What's important is what it does. It provides a standard way to measure the carbon emissions of a piece of software. For the first time, we can look at an app or program and give it a carbon reading, just like we do for a car or an appliance. So what does this mean in practice? Well, it means that not all code is created equal. Take this comparison between two super popular programming languages. For the exact same task, Java is dramatically more energy efficient than Python. I mean, look at those scores. All of a sudden, a developer's choice of language isn't just a technical decision, it has a real, measurable environmental impact. Sustainability can be engineered right into the code itself.
From listening for chainsaws in the Amazon to optimizing the very code that runs our world, it's crystal clear that AI offers an incredible toolkit for building a more sustainable planet. The technology is here, so the question we're left with is no longer about the tool, but about the user. How will we, as a society, choose to wield this incredible power?